are live. You are looking live. Did you miss me? It is I, Chris Cillizza. I say every Friday I do this, but the last 2 Fridays I have not done this live stream. 2 Fridays ago, I was in the Grand Canyon. Last Friday, I was in Richmond, Virginia. Today, I'm here. It's all happening. What a week. What a week. So if you're new here, welcome. If you're old here, also welcome. For people who are wondering what this is this thing? It is a live stream. I basically take people's questions for the better part of an hour and then publish it on my YouTube channel. You can do me the favor, if you can, of liking this video. Just give it the old thumbs up, like this live stream. And if you're not a subscriber to this channel, what are you waiting for? Just subscribe. It's free. Also, go check out my Substack. Just type in my name, Chris, Cillizza, and Substack into the Google machine or your preferred search engine. I don't want to be Google specific. And it'll give you a bunch of content. 65% of it's free, 35% is paid. I need your support. If you want to support me, please do. The way that you can support me here is donate via the super chat button, which is that little button on the bottom with a $ inside of a dollar bill. If you do ask a question via the super chat, I will bump your question up to the top, make sure it gets answered. I will probably answer everybody's question, so it's not like if you cannot donate to me, you won't get your question answered. I'll try to do as many as I can. And yeah, that's it. All right, let's get started. Patrick Murray. Question. The Washington Post said that New Jersey will likely be a swing state in the next election because the percentage that Democrats win it by keeps shrinking. Do you believe that? So Trump only lost New Jersey by, I think, 6 in 2024, last year. I don't think it's a swing state yet. Let's see what the governor's race in New Jersey looks like. It's this fall. It's one of 2 states. Virginia is the other one that has a governor's race in 2025. Let's see what that looks like. If Republicans win that race, okay, then I think we can talk about it. But I'm not totally convinced just yet. I think Trump had kind of a unique appeal in the tri-state, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area. Not even really Connecticut, New York and New Jersey because of his roots there. And his exposure in that media market for years and years and years and years. I don't know if J.D. Vance, for example, if he's the nominee in 2028, has that same appeal as like a Midwestern guy. So I would be a little skeptical that like it's a swing state, Patrick. Let's see. We're going to have some data on that in the 2025 gubernatorial race. Let's see if that's a 1 or 2 point race or if Republicans win it, then I think we can talk about it being a swing state in 2028. Okay. Sam, still a Cillizza fan. Hey, Sam. Hey, Chris, welcome back. Would love to get your analysis about Speaker Mike Johnson's fight over proxy voting. Where does he go from here after losing the vote in the House? So for people who don't know, Mike Johnson, the speaker, is like adamantly opposed to to recent mothers and fathers, people who've just had kids, who are members of Congress voting by proxy, basically saying like, I'm allowing this person to vote for me. It doesn't make any sense. It's so stupid. Like, just let them do it. Like who is standing against, who thinks it's a good idea, politically speaking, to stand against new moms and dads? Like, I don't get it. Mike Johnson has something against proxy voting. I'm not totally sure what it is. I don't think he's against new moms and dads, but like the proxy voting thing is getting in the way of that. So he's gotten this huge fight with Anna Paulina Luna, who's like one of the Trumpiest members. She's left the House Freedom Caucus over it. It makes no sense. Republicans getting in a fight over whether new moms and dads can spend time at home and vote by proxy seems to me so stupid. I do not get it. Sherry Zimmerman, Chris, I just watched your video of possible tariff wars. What has this man up his sleeve? So that's the thing that I think is really interesting, Sherry. He doesn't have anything up his sleeve. There is no secret thing that's going to come out on tariffs. He just thinks tariffs work. I don't know if they work in the long term. I know, as I've said many times, politically speaking, it's a terrible idea. I mean, it's a colossally bad idea because it injects uncertainty into the economy. We've seen it right before I came on. I checked this. The Dow was down 1,600 as of a few minutes ago after its losses yesterday. It injects uncertainty in the stock market. That trickles down to uncertainty in the broader public and broader electorate. It makes no sense. You should not do that if you're a politician. Does Trump care? He's always cared in the past about sort of popularity and doing things that people want him to do. I don't know if because he's term limited out, he doesn't care anymore. I truly don't know. But it's very weird. Like politically speaking, like if I'm a Republican elected official on the ballot in 2026, I'm like, what is going on? It said Jim Halpert. What is going on from The Office? It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, there's no rationale that I can see politically why he would do this. Economically, does he believe in it? Does he think in the long term it will work? Maybe. Yes, he does. I was saying maybe too, will it work? But in the near term, politically, it's a total disaster. Mr. Wolf, all that talk about ending birthright citizenship was just a show. He knew there's no way the House and Senate would ever do it. Do you still think the tariff stuff is just a show too? Well, ending birthright citizenship, the problem is that's in the Constitution and it's immediately appealed, right? So there's a stay on it. There is no end of birthright citizenship. It's going through the court process. The problem with tariffs not the problem, but the reality of tariffs is it's a presidential prerogative. So he's doing it, and therefore there's not much anybody else can do about it. I mean, Congress is going, I think, maybe eventually try to rein in the power of the presidential tariff, the ability to levy tariffs. But right now, there's no legal system. It's like the president can do this. Whether the president should do it or not is a whole other conversation, but the president can do it. Again, I think it's kind of wild that he's going down this road, but birthright citizenship to me is a different thing. It's in the Constitution. There's a legal fight over it. It's not currently in place because it's been stayed by the judge. Tariffs, I mean, as of, I think tomorrow, these tariffs go into effect. That's it. I mean, there's no off button. John Suda, John, thank you for your donation. Always appreciated. John Suda says, the question is, do you want to put American troops in harm's way to get Greenland? Is it that important? So if you decide it is, would it justify a war of expansion, the invasion of a NATO ally? I do not think so, John. I actually do think the Greenland thing is a little bit of a distraction. I think what Trump is trying to do is put public pressure on Greenland and Norway to interact more with the U.S. economically, to be friendlier with the U.S. economically, maybe to let them expand the bases they have in military base in the country. But I do not think he is going to invade Greenland. I know he refuses to rule it out. I do think that is not a really credible, serious option. I think this is about a closer economic and military relationship. That's what I think he's trying to sort of pressure them into. This is his method. We can debate about whether it works or not. I think sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But the point is, I do not think we are having boots on the ground in Greenland and Norway, or Greenland or Norway. Jason 46, for fun, can we rank the top 2028 Democratic presidential contenders given this week? Booker probably moved up. So I'm going to do a post on this and maybe a video on it too. My view of this effectively is the top tier, and I'm probably going to forget someone. I'm going to write this down. The top tier, I think, I got my handy dandy. This is where I love these notebooks. I get them at Staples. No, they are not a sponsor or anything, but I get them at Staples. So I think the top, I'm not going to rank them like 1 to 10 or whatever. Top tier, in my mind, Kamala Harris, if she runs, I don't think she's going to run. I think she's going to run for governor, but Kamala Harris, if she runs, so Kamala, Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, Whitmer, governor of Michigan, Newsom, governor of California, and I'm going to put Buttigieg in there too, in that top tier, just because I think he's pretty well known. Second tier, I think that's where we find like Booker, Klobuchar, JB. I'm writing all these down. JB Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, Ro Khanna, member of Congress from California, who I think is going to run. And by the way, just quickly, I don't don't know that she's going to run, but if AOC does run, I would put her in the top tier. So that's where I'm landing. Jason, are there people I'm forgetting? Are there names that I should throw in? That I just did off the top of my head. I'm sure there are other people who are probably going to run that I didn't mention. Brendan Fleming. Brendan says, great coverage this week, Chris. Brendan, thank you. And thank you for your donation. As always, that money will go to my effort to build a complete collection of these bad boys, the Almanacs of American Politics. They started in 1972. I'm trying to get one from every year. So Brendan, thank you for your donation. Brendan says, if the tariffs backfire as badly as some economists are saying they could, does this offer any path for the Dems to win not just the House, but also the Senate in 2026? Good question. Let me give you the problem first for Democrats vis-a-vis the Senate. So they need to net 4 seats, okay? Because J.D. Vance is the vice president of the Senate, breaks ties. So you got to have a clear majority if you're Democrats. You got to have 51 seats. There are 22 Republican seats up to 13 Democratic seats. Of those 22, 21 of them are in states that Donald Trump won last November. So it's not a great playing field. The only one that's in a state Kamala Harris won is in Maine, Susan Collins, and she's going to be a huge target. So the problem becomes, it's like you have to fish in waters that are not super friendly to your party. So like one example, North Carolina, Tom Tillis is running. I could see that being a real race because I think Roy Cooper, the popular former Democratic governor, is probably going to run. So I think that that's a race. It is a state Trump won, but that's a real race. It starts to get dicier after that. Remember, they need 4. So let's assume they don't lose any of their own, which, look, Georgia is going to be a big race for Democrats. So is Michigan. Minnesota, New Hampshire, maybe. But Georgia and Michigan are going to be huge, huge races that they'd have to hold. But let's say they hold those 2. So even if they win, even if they beat Susan Collins and Tom Tillis, then I guess the next one would be in Ohio, where John Husted is the appointed senator. Ohio's a tough state, maybe. Okay, that's 3. Now you have to find me another winner out of this group. I'm going to go in alphabetical order. Alaska, Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Iowa, Idaho, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, West Virginia, and Wyoming. I mean, Iowa's probably the best bet there. Maybe Florida. It's just the map is not great for them. It just isn't for Democrats. And so it's like, could I think of a path? Sure. But man, you got to go through some pretty red states to get there. But Brendan, great question. And thank you. Let's see. Julio J. Chris, if the Constitution allowed for POTUS to run for a 3rd term, which presidents in the last 4 years would have gone for it, and who would have likely won? They probably all would have gone. So let's assume the 2-term presidents, they all would have gone for it if they could. I think the 2-term presidents, so going in reverse order. So Barack Obama, I think, probably would have won a 3rd term. He was pretty popular when he left office in 2016. Really skillful politician. George W. Bush probably would not have won a 3rd term. His numbers were kind of on the decline by that point, and a lot of Republicans had abandoned him. Bill Clinton, probably a toss-up. Depends on who Republicans would run in 2000 for that 3rd term. Clinton obviously had weathered the Monica Lewinsky scandal, but I think that would have been probably a toss-up. I think Reagan, gosh, he would have been old. I mean, he was still popular. It's like, knowing what we know now about Reagan's mental capacity, by the end of his term, he probably wouldn't have won, but they didn't know that then, so he was popular and probably would have won. But all of them, look, Joe Biden proved this. Remember how Joe Biden was like, I'm going to be a bridge to the next generation of leaders, kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm not going to run again in 2024. Well, guess what happened? He became president. And he was like, well, that's pretty freaking great. So they all love the office. They all would love to be in the office forever. But I love that question. Matthew White. Hey, Chris, aren't you doing weekly live streams anymore? Also, is Trump even legally allowed to run as VP in 2028? Yes, Matthew, I'm just joking. Yes, I am doing live streams. So I was away the last 2 weeks. Sorry. I'm actually going to roll out a paid tier for YouTube where I'm going to make more videos, at least one more video a day, and do at least one more live stream a week. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out for that. But yes, I am doing these live streams every Friday. My schedule is a little bit hectic, but I'm trying to make sure I'm doing this. By the way, there are 200 people on here right now. We only have 58 likes. Just thumbs it up. Is Trump even legally allowed to run as VP in 2028? So there's a real debate about that. I would urge you. It was a great conversation. So over on my Substack, I talked to Steve Vladeck, who, if you don't know his name, he writes the One First Substack about constitutional law in the Supreme Court. He is a Georgetown law professor. That's not the only reason I like him, but it is one reason I like him. We had a conversation earlier this week on my Substack where we talked through all that stuff, 22nd and 12th Amendment. And his view was like, it is not out of the question that there could be a strict textual appeal on Donald Trump being able to serve beyond 8 years as president or running for VP. So I would urge you, the answer is, it's kind of crazy, but it's just crazy enough that it might lead to a court case and get to the Supreme Court. That's what I would say. Dave Collier, Dave, thank you for your donation. Dave says, does Trump's tariffs, etc., make more sense if he actually has no intention of running again, either by not seeking a third term or by having a coup? Yeah. Like the best evidence, it seems to me, that Donald Trump isn't going to run again is that he seems committed to these tariffs. Politically, they make no sense. I mean, I guess you could argue, well, by 2028, things will look different. And maybe if he's right on this gigantic gamble about how it's going to make us wealthy again and bring manufacturing back in this country, that he'll be proven right and he can do what he wants going forward. But man, it is a gigantic bet with long odds, right? I mean, most economists do not believe tariffs like this will work. And politically, as I've said, it makes no sense. Right? At least in the near term. I'm not sure it makes sense in the medium or long term either, but definitely in the near term, it does not make sense. So I always think it's like the best evidence he's not planning to run again, but who the hell knows? Vladimir, Chris, I'm trying to write an op-ed. Can non-journalists get published? Any tips? Is the Wall Street Journal or Fox News too ambitious or better to aim for smaller outlets? Well, they get a lot of submissions, Vladimir. As a non-journalist, I mean, I think you can. You just have to have it be compelling and have, I don't know what you're writing about, but like have it be compelling and that you have a level of expertise and you're speaking from a position of knowledge and authority. I would always aim big, but I would have some smaller outlets in there too. Dr. Always First, do you think all these tariffs could be a good pivot for Democrats to win back Senate seats in the Midwest that they used to hold even 15 years ago? Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Indiana. Certainly if Trump doesn't bail out the farmers, because I think American farmers are going to be hit super hard by these tariffs. And I think he is aware of that. I think they are going to try to bail them out at some point if he sticks with these tariffs. If he doesn't, and there is just devastation in the farming community across the Midwest, that could be an issue. For sure. My guess is he won't do that. He won't let it get to that point, but we'll see. But yeah, it's a good question because that is where the playing field could expand some. Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas all have seats up in 2026 and Republicans hold them. Maxwell Finer, how quickly do you think he will back off of the tariffs? It seems like it might kill the GOP in the midterms. I mean, every day that he goes with them is a bad day politically for Republicans, and is going to take them some time to rebuild trust with the public. If he goes 6 months, I mean, I think they're in deep trouble. They might be in deep trouble in the midterms anyway. History suggests the president's party loses House seats, definitely, sometimes Senate seats, but definitely House seats in the first midterm of his term. So I think they might be in trouble anyway, but yeah, it's a huge potential political problem. Adrian Weber. Adrian, thank you so much for your donation. Welcome back. I loved your chat with Patrick Ruffini. Any chance of a conversation with Heather Cox Richardson? So I did talk to Patrick Ruffini, who's a Republican pollster and a fascinating guy, on my Substack. It's free. You can go get it. Heather Cox Richardson, honestly, Adrian, if you have contact info for her, email me, cillizzac@gmail.com. My issue is she's so big on Substack, I might be too small of a fish. I mean, I hope I'm not, but like she has like 1 million subscribers. I have 31,000 subscribers, so I don't know, but yes, I would love to talk to her. I think she's fascinating. She writes the Letters from an American. Is that her, Letters from an American? I think that's her. Huge, gigantic Substack. Thank you for your donation too. And thanks for the kindness about my convo with Patrick Ruffini. Again, go to my Substack, chriscillizza.substack.com and check it out. It was free. Okay. Oh gosh, we got a lot coming in. Bob Lehman, thank you for your donation. Sorry, it's weird. It takes a little while to get caught up here with all your questions. Let's see. Dan W, great chatting with you last week. Chris, yeah, Dan, same. So much going on, so little time. Any update on TikTok? Wasn't that a short-term extension? Also, loaded question. How do you think this tariff saga ends? TikTok, I believe a decision has to be made, I think, by either tonight or tomorrow night. I just saw before I came on, Walmart has added its name as a potential buyer. This comes after earlier this week, Amazon put in a bid. We'll see. TikTok is not going away. I mean, Donald Trump is not going to be Donald Trump, who thinks he won because young people voted for him and young people voted for him because of TikTok. I'm not sure that's the only reason, but he's not going to get rid of TikTok. I can't imagine, or let it be gotten rid of. So let's see. As for the tariff thing, I think unless he is committed to Republicans losing control of the House next November, and maybe the Senate, he has to find a way out of this political cul-de-sac he is in. He has to find a way to cut deals, to declare victory and move on, but he can't have this. You can't have the stock market having its worst day since the pandemic, multiple days in a row or a week or a month. People panic. They just do. Whether they should or not, people do. And I think that's a gigantic problem for him. Justin Z says, Virginia, baby. RVA here, good sir. Hello, my friend. That's Richmond, Virginia, for people who don't know. E.T. Blackbeard, is there a way this tariff plays out that is actually beneficial for the U.S. and Trump? Both are winners to qualify. Sure. I mean, again, I am not an economist. So, while most economists seem to think tariffs don't have the effect of making everyone do all their job creation in this country and building factories in this country, etc., there are some who do. Could Donald Trump help bring the manufacturing sector back some? Could he make more companies either move to America or make more things in America? Sure. Is it going to be this incredible $6 trillion windfall? I don't know. I mean, yes, it is. To your question, yes, it is possible. I think it is unlikely. J. Jordan 00, why haven't we seen a much larger backlash for firing so many vets that happen to be federal employees? It's a good question. I think you'll see some of that in the midterm campaign. I think Democrats will focus on that. I think it's just because so many people are getting laid off in the federal government that it's hard to follow, honestly. I think we're going to, in 6 months' time, I think you're going to see some major political issues and hay be made out of some of these firings. The vets one is top of the list there, but I think so much is going on. It kind of gets lost amid everything else. Ron from Trinidad, do you think Trump will get impeached again? Not while Republicans control the House and Senate. Sly Fox, hey Chris, happy belated Liberation Day. Happy Liberation Day to you. Hopefully you didn't celebrate by looking at your portfolio or 401k. I did not. Matt Davidson, hey Chris, long time no see. I know, I missed 2 weeks, but I'm back. People like this chat. Do it for the algorithm. Mike, thank you for your donation. Trump seems to be burning through more political capital than some presidents get. What do you think the breaking point will be? Have a good weekend. Man, Mike, I've been asking myself that a lot of the time. I have no idea. To me, the big question is twofold. One, is there a tipping point where a bunch of MAGA Republican elected officials go to him either publicly or privately, and they're like, you got to change this, number one. And number two, does he listen? This is bad politics. Anyone who says this is good politics for Donald Trump and the Republican Party does not know what they're talking about. Maybe in 2028, it could be, but in the nearer term, it is not. So I think the question is there a movement among Republican elected officials who he likes and who have been supportive of him to go and say, you got to stop this, you got to cut deals? And then does he listen? Those are the tipping points. I don't know. Sam Schmidt, Sam, thank you for your donation. Sam says, Trump promised tariffs constantly during the campaign. Did people business read this wrong and thinking it was just talk? I think two things. One, I think people thought it was just talk. And number two, I don't think the average person has any idea what tariffs do. So Trump would say things like, we're going to institute these tariffs and prices are going to go down. And it's well, that's definitely not the case. In the near term, there's no way that you're going to have U.S. companies absorb increased prices from imported goods that they then pass on to the consumer and have prices go down. The only way that would happen is if they didn't pass those prices on to the consumer, which would mean they make less money, which we know is going to happen. So he was always saying these things, which made no sense. It's like, you can't have like these broad-based tariffs with all of our trading partners and prices of goods are going to go down in the US. It's just not going to happen, not in the foreseeable future. But I think a lot of people didn't know what tariffs are or what they do, and they're learning now. Let's see. Johannes, I subscribed to your podcast when it was 700 people only, now 60,000+ subscribers. Good for you. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for being in very early. Yeah, we're up almost to 64,000. My goal is 100. I'm hoping I can get there. Shabbat Springfield, what is your opinion on Mark Halpert? He mentioned you this week, seemed to reference some rift between the two of you. No rift. I just think I think he's moved a little bit to the right because there's money to the right. Brandon Michael, huge fan of your content. Just came onto the train the last couple of weeks. Thanks, Brandon. Love to have you, man. Thank you for your support. Paul Olson. Paul, thank you for your donation, as always. Paul says the tariffs and results won't destroy Trump's presidency. He won't be impeached to resign. He will still have an imperial presidency and a compliant Supreme Court. He can still do tons of damage. I don't think it will ruin his presidency either. Again, he's in. I mean, the Republicans are not going to impeach him, and if Democrats would have to win control of the House and Senate in 2026 to impeach and convict him, I don't think they're going to control the Senate. Who knows, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, I think he's going to serve 4 years, health being, as long as he stays healthy. I do think he is going to weaken his hand somewhat among Republicans, Republican elected officials, if he isn't endangering their political prospects. I do. Anthony DeGusti. Anthony, no question, but thank you for your donation. That is really, really kind of you. Brett Green, Chris, we missed you these last 2 weeks. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Did Booker's speech only because he wants to run for president? Right. Yeah. I mean, not only because he wants to run for president again. I mean, I think he believes a lot of stuff that he said. I don't think he's like faking it. Like, I think he thinks Donald Trump and Elon Musk are bad. But yes, I mean, it was performative, right? I mean, it wasn't even a filibuster because there's no pending legislation in front of the Senate. It was just a really long speech that he then raised money off of and got attention for. And yeah, I mean, I think to me, it's like he wants to make sure that his name stays in the mix for president, and that was a way to do it. Rusty, thank you for your donation. Rusty says, do elected Republicans have a red line with Trump? Their loyalty to him seems bizarre at this point, unless they do think he will serve a third term. So there's a lot of debate about this, Rusty. I think there is a line. I don't know what the line is, but to me, I mean, look, I will suggest a line. For example, let's say that the Supreme Court rules against Donald Trump on something big, and he's like, no, I'm just ignoring that. I think that could be a red line for a lot of Republican elected officials. Is the tariff thing a red line? It affects their political future, which they care deeply. It's the first thing they care about. Everybody cares about self-preservation first. So maybe there is, but I do think there's a line. It's just, I think a lot of Democrats and liberals get frustrated because the line is not the line they, liberals and Democrats, would draw. I always say, I don't think that means that there is no line ever. We just haven't crossed it yet, I think. Matt Davidson, do you think the tariffs are enough to help Dems make gains in the House and Senate in 28, or they need a strong platform? I do not think, Matt, they need a strong platform in 2026. To me, a midterm election is, do you like the job this president, and particularly when one party controls the House and Senate, do you like the job Donald Trump and Republicans are doing, or do you want somebody else to control something in there? I think in 2028, they absolutely need a positive message, but I think for 2026, you can just say, look, are you supportive of what Donald Trump and congressional Republicans are doing or not? If you're not, vote for us. Give us some power. Bob Lehman, love the stuff, Chris. Thumbs up when I watch every day. Thank you, my friend. Aaron Gins, do you think Eric Adams is banking on Democrats to nominate a far-left candidate and he can run as a reasonable independent? So for folks who don't know, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, was elected as a Democrat. It's now said this week he's going to run for re-election as an independent. You know, Aaron, I think it's just a desperation move. Like, he was not going to be able to win a Democratic primary. He would lose. So I think this is a way that he can kind of stay in the mix, stay in the news, maybe have a chance. But if you ask me, I think Andrew Cuomo is going to be the next governor of New York City. I think he's going to win the Democratic primary. And I think if he wins the Democratic primary, he's very, very, very likely to win a general election, even with Eric Adams in the race. Let's see. Sam's still a Cillizza fan. Sam, thank you for your donation. You've mentioned how you give paid speeches. How much for you to give a 25-hour speech, no bathroom breaks? $1 million. I'm not, my bladder wouldn't, I know Cory Booker like stopped eating on a Friday before the Tuesday where he started his speech, and he didn't drink any water, like purposely dehydrated himself. I'm too old for that, man. And I don't even think my bladder would hold out. So yeah, I do it for $1 million. Be worth it. John Eichemeyer. John, thank you for your donation. He says, is Raphael Warnock a plausible 2028 candidate? You know what? I'm adding Warnock to my second tier. I have said this on here before, John. I think Warnock is a really credible dark horse. You could probably get decent odds on him. And I think if he ran, he'd have a chance. I don't think he's top tier yet because I still think he's as well known as Kamala Harris and Shapiro and Whitmer, and Newsom and Buttigieg. But I do think he's an interesting candidate. So yeah, yeah. Little Quail, is it possible Trump's tweet is inviting foreign investment in the stock market while it's as low as a way to sell our economy to foreign interests at a discount? I don't think so. I mean, I know there are conspiracy theories about all this stuff, that he's purposely tanking the economy so that his rich friends can buy low, and then he takes the tariffs off and the stock market goes back up. I don't know. I mean, I'm not that big a conspiracy theorist, and I don't think he's selling so that foreign investors can buy the U.S. economy. But H, was your video used on Fox? Yes. So apparently people told me about this. On Fox, they did a big segment on my video saying that the next 6 weeks were going to be really bad for Biden because of all the books coming out that I thought were going to paint him in a bad light. I mean, I do think that is true. So, like that is a thing. Hold on one sec. Okay. Sorry, just had to check my phone. So yeah, I think that's a thing, but yeah, it's fine. I mean, I believe it. Fox can use it. It's fine. William Rakowskis, you talked about how Democrats had a good week. Other than Trump employing the stock market with tariffs, what do you think Dems should do to keep winning weeks? I mean, just sit back and let Trump cook. Let him do his thing, because I just don't think it does any good to get in the way of it. What he is doing right now is political poison for the Republican Party. It is absolutely terrible. Democrats should just stay out of the way of it. You don't need to do anything. Dave Collier. Dave, thank you for your additional donation. Dave says, speaking as a British person, this feels very similar to the Liz Truss situation, except the failing prime minister can be removed. Do you agree? Yeah. There are similarities there. I should start. What was that? The head of lettuce they did? Like, what will last longer? The head of lettuce or Liz Truss? Was that the thing? I should get a head of lettuce. Yeah, you're right. Like, Donald Trump's not going to be removed. Certainly not before the 2026 election. And I really don't think he'll be removed after that, but certainly not between now and then. But it is one of these, like, I'm going to do something that's deeply unpopular that isn't a guaranteed win for America, but I think I'm right. I mean, it's just a giant gamble to do that. A giant gamble. Sam Schmidt. Sam, thank you for your second donation. Sam says, thoughts on the firings after Laura Loomer's meeting with Trump. Donald Trump has a fascination with some of these very fringe figures, of which Laura Loomer is one. If I were him, I would have her nowhere near me. I think that is nothing but trouble. But he kind of is willing to entertain these people. She came in, said, okay, all these people in the National Security Council are sort of against you. He got rid of a bunch of people the next day. There are no coincidences in politics. Listening to Laura Loomer will not end well for Donald Trump. It's just as simple as that. Ratatan, thank you for your donation. No question, but thank you. Brad David, Brad, thank you for your donation. I'm sorry. Is it a slur when Republicans call it the Democrat Party instead of the Democratic Party, or is that the correct pronunciation? Well, it's not a slur. I mean, it's the Democratic Party, but Republicans don't want to say that because they don't want to give like democracy to Democrats. I think it's dumb. I think these are stupid fights, but that I guess is the nature of it. Let's see. Jody Oaks. Hey, Chris, I don't think so, but is there any way that these Elon Musk Doge cuts and tariffs that will see the national debt go down? Republicans don't seem to care about that anymore. I mean, that's the Trump theory. is that there is a possibility that we're gonna reap all this revenue and we'll be able to pay down the national debt some. It depends how much revenue you think we're gonna bring in. I will say Trump added $7.4 trillion to the debt while he was president in his first 4 years. I don't think he's ever been super focused on bringing down the debt, but that is a theory of the case, Jody. Let's see. Adam Hartman. Cory Booker did his thing, and since then I've been getting many unsolicited texts from him. It's annoying, perhaps annoying enough to make me like him less. A lesson for political campaigns. Yeah, this is the problem, right? It's like Cory Booker does the speech, but it's clearly meant for political reasons, at least in part. He's going to raise money off of it, so he's going to bug you, and then it's like, does that boomerang back against him? No politician does something like Cory Booker did, which is an act of performance, to be clear. You can agree with it or disagree with it, but it's an act of performance. They never do that without some political considerations. I mean, yeah. Juana Alvarez, Greenland and Denmark. Did I say Norway? Greenland and Denmark. Yes, thank you. I like Mandalorians. That's the handle, but I also like Mandalorians. So is Congress finally going to reclaim its monopoly on tariff powers? I saw there's some movement in that direction. We'll see. We will see as long as let's see how long Trump keeps these tariffs in place. If they keep them in place, I think you will see that. Yeah. JJ Giddy, LOL, such a terrible list of candidates to choose from. I guess that's about my 2028 candidates. I mean, if you've got a better one who you think is better, throw it out there. Mark a lot. Yeah, bad list. I hope for the sake of all of us in unknown surfaces. It could happen. Mark Cuban, The Rock. Nils Lindenblad, were you surprised that McConnell and Rand Paul voted against tariffs on Canada? Definitely not McConnell. I mean, I think this is his true self. He was never a Trump person. He is a free trader. He is not a protectionist. Rand Paul, a little surprised, but Rand Paul votes weird on lots of stuff. So it's like harder to like put him in a slot. Tom K, what tier do Wes Moore and Raphael Warnock belong in? I'm adding Wes Moore to my second tier, the governor of Maryland. So first tier, just so people know right now, I did this off the top of my head, but I think it's mostly right. Kamala Harris, if she runs, Josh Shapiro, Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg. Second tier, Cory Booker, Amy Klobuchar, J.B. Pritzker, Andy Beshear, Ro Khanna, Raphael Warnock, Wes Moore. That's where I would put those. Franz George Leopold Pagel. Sorry for that long name. Feel free to go with FG or George. Glad to have you back, and thanks. Now, if Pete Buttigieg runs for president, who should he balance the ticket with, and will he? Good question. He might, if he's a nominee, he could pick the person who came in second to him, like a Gretchen Whitmer. I think that would be smart. Wes Moore would be interesting. They both had military service. DSlav2488 for 2028. Whitmer, Harris, Crockett, Klobuchar. Those are my top four. Jasmine Crockett should not run for president. There is not a coalition for Jasmine Crockett nationally. Matt Davidson. Matt asking the perennial question. What did you do to piss off Keith Olbermann? Seriously, what is your honest assessment there? People ask me this all the time. I don't know. I have no animosity to Keith at all, but he does not like me. I don't totally know why. I shouldn't say I don't totally know why. I don't know why at all. More power to him, man. We all gotta do what we do. Adam Matajek, hypothetically, if somehow legally Trump runs for a third term and the Dems put up Obama, who would be a good running mate for him? Oh my gosh. I don't think the Dems are going to put up Obama. And I don't think Trump's going to run for a third term. Maybe Joe Biden. He did a good job as VP. Cam Leitner says, love the live stream. Thanks, Cam. I appreciate it. Mark Commande. I think Beto O'Rourke could be a good candidate in 2028. He is. So I guess I'd include Beto in second tier, but he is definitely potential third tier. He is well below, I think a lot of the other ones. Let's see. Oh, geez. Sorry. It keeps jumping around. Ron Billamoria. Hi from India. Love your show. Thanks, Ron. That's so nice of you. Thank you. Hello. Paulson says Democrat sounds a lot more snarky than Democratic. It does. David Johnson. Hey, I'm glad you were not doing a video during the first Friday of March Madness. Would have been too much for me. Yeah, that's a good point. I was in the Grand Canyon on that day. But yeah. 4 a.m. Pizza says, wanted to check if you still don't have an OnlyFans. I still don't have an OnlyFans, my friend. Jeffrey Berry, Newsom is a hard no for me. I don't think he's done himself much good with the podcast. Why no Tim Walz? Guess I'll put Tim Walz in the second tier. I am very skeptical of Tim Walz as a national candidate. I do not think he was particularly good as a VP. I don't know. I was not super impressed by him. I thought he made a bunch of mistakes with his background and his resume and seemed to be a little bit of a serial exaggerator. Like, I don't know. I was not like overwhelmed by him. Oh, Pocket Watch. Hey, Pocket. Eating at a Raising Cane's in Monroe, Louisiana on our way to San Antonio for the Final Four. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. I love that place. Who wins tomorrow night? Then who wins the championship? Duke beats Houston and Florida beats Auburn. Duke over Florida. I feel better about the Duke pick than the Florida pick. I don't think Auburn is that great. I know John I. Broome is really good, but like, I don't know. I think Duke, if Duke plays to its capacity, they're going to win. I think they're the best team. JJ Getty says hard pass on Tim Walz. H says, is Governor Shapiro second tier? No, he is top tier. Harris, Shapiro, Whitmer, Newsom, Buttigieg. That's my top tier right now. Barry Riley says, why do we like or dislike anybody? Barry well said. That's like, what if CAT really spelled dog from Revenge of the Nerds? That's deep. Denver Redhead. World leaders will discuss what to do and jointly impose even higher tariffs across the board on all American exports. So, Denver, I'll note that, Trump said that all these countries wanted to come to the table and make a deal with him. Not China. They announced a 34% tariff on all goods brought into China from America this morning. That is not not what I would say is like a proof of his point. Tossing it out there, great handle. That is very generous donation. Thank you. Tossing says, long time, first time. The House debate on the proxy voting issue seems like it's masking something, choosing to avoid moving on, slowing the process, avoiding anything on tariffs, etc. Or is the proxy issue that big a deal? I don't know. I mean, like, it seems, I said this right at the top, but I'm going to say it again. It seems so dumb to me that Mike Johnson is choosing this to fight on. Because, like, who is against new moms and dads spending time with their newborn? Like, most votes the House takes are like, how you're voting a week in advance. I mean, it's not like, oh, what to do. So, like, giving your proxy vote to someone, I don't get it. It's a very weird fight. For them to have, particularly because they have to pass the one beautiful big bill at some point in the very near future. It's just odd, like, to piss off Anna Paulina Luna, who's like a very reliable MAGA conservative. It doesn't make sense to me, given where they are in the math, which is 220 Republican seats, 213 Democrat seats, which means they have a 3-seat majority. Garrett Brindle. Garrett, thank you for donation. I mean this not as an insult. Oh, that's always worrisome. But I do find it a bit naive that you think Trump supporters and Republicans have any line in the sand at all. So I guess I would say, I wasn't saying Trump supporters. I was saying Republican elected officials, many of whom are Trump supporters, but not all. I do think there are things it would probably do with him ignoring the Supreme Court ruling, like a negative Supreme Court ruling. I guess that's where I think the line would be drawn. But I may be naive. I've been accused of that many, many times before. Daniel Ownbay. Daniel, thank you for the donation. Did Elon Musk miscalculate? Dems returning Teslas, Republicans not buying electric anytime soon. Here's the thing. Elon is the richest guy in the world. Like, yes, is Tesla stock down? Yes. Will Democrats buy Teslas? Probably not. But like, he's worth $300 billion or something. Like, I don't think that that's his primary consideration. I mean, he's got like, he has like generational money that I don't think he's going to lose. I think he miscalculated politically by going into Wisconsin. He's not particularly popular among Democrats. Hate him, and Republicans, I think, are like fine with him, and independents don't particularly like him. So I think that's a miscalculation for sure. Ravens Dolphin, amazing. What do you think about Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order delay dates about tariffs? Don't underestimate that as an issue of people not liking tariffs. A lot of people have pre-ordered Nintendo Switch 2s, gamers, young people. That is not going to sit well with them. Yeah. Pocket Watch. Pocket, thank you for donation. Pocket Watch says Auburn wins it all. We'll check in next Friday to see who was right. War Eagle. I guess you believe in Bruce Pearl. Jorge Caceres. Jorge, thank you for your donation. Hey, Chris, based on the swings we were seeing on special elections, when do you think Democrats can win the Senate back? Iowa, Florida, Wisconsin, 2026, 2028. 2026 is going to be really hard. Again, let me give you one stat. There are 22 Republican seats up. 21 of them are in states Donald Trump won. So in order to win the Senate back, and Democrats have to win 4 seats. So they would have to beat Susan Collins, who's in a Kamala Harris state, and then 3 more and not lose any of their own. Is it possible? Yeah, but you need the playing field nationally to be tilted way against Republicans and way in Democrats' favor if they're going to win in some of those places that you note. Bill Reeve, I'm a Democrat that hates Elon Musk, but I just bought a Tesla. I love that car. I have a Tesla. I love it. I bought it 5 years ago when I think conservatives thought Elon was trying to take away the combustion engine. So who knows? I mean, talk about how things have changed. Anthony DeGusti. Anthony, thank you for your donation. Thoughts on the John Ossoff seat and Marjorie Taylor Greene's chances there? Well, I mean, if Marjorie Taylor Greene ran, I think John Ossoff would get reelected. I think they're going to get Brian Kemp, the popular former Republican governor, to run. And in that situation, I think John Ossoff is in somewhat deep trouble. Yeah, he's the most endangered incumbent without question in the country for Democrats. No question about that. Let's see. Mo Coffee. Will Justin Trudeau try to convince Cuba to sell Canada and Ireland? Well, he's not the prime minister anymore. It's Mark Carney. So will Mark Carney try to convince Cuba to sell Canada and Ireland? I don't know. Yag Ball says, if you've lost the gamers, you've lost America. Don't underestimate the gamer vote. William Rakowski says, here's a wildcard candidate. Steve Kerr. He speaks a lot about gun violence. Yes, Steve Kerr's dad was killed in a terrorist attack in Israel. He was a diplomat. So I think Steve Kerr has really strong feelings about that. Let me see. Denver Redhead says Ossoff is hoping to face Green. Yes, big time. I mean, big time. Master Failure says, put your thumb up, y'all. Yes, I agree. Beirut. I'm sorry. Yes, Bob Lehman. It was not Israel. It was Beirut where Steve Kerr's dad was killed. Thank you, Bob, for that clarification. It's an amazing story. Steve Kerr's an amazing guy. I really respect him. I think he's so smart and thoughtful and yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to wrap it up because I got something I got to go to at 2, but I'm back. Now, here's what you can do for me. You can like this video. Just thumbs up it if you can. That helps with the algorithm. You can subscribe to my channel if you haven't. If you have, go tell somebody to subscribe to my channel. You can also make a super chat donation. Many of you have. I'm hugely thankful for it. You can also go over to my Substack. It's Chris Cillizza. That's CILLIZZA.substack.com. You can go over there and you can check it out. There's a bunch of free content, but if you want to become a subscriber, it's $6 a month or $60 for the year. Not too much. And then the last thing that you can do is be aware I am going to add a YouTube premium tier sometime in the near future where you get more videos from me, like at least another video a day and another live stream a week. So look out for that if that's the kind of thing that might interest you. I think I'll have a couple different tiers financially where you can get in. So thank you all. Have a good weekend. Good to be back. Thank you for sticking with me. Spread the word and put your thumb up and like this video. All right, everybody, be well.